What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Welcome to Alex Sports Talk and Bets, one of the best sports channels on YouTube. And I want to talk about this Lanorris Sellers father situation because Lanorris Sellers Dad came out and he stated that his son was offered $8 million. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but $8 million to transfer to another program to play quarterback. I need you guys to understand something. Your family can be your biggest haters because there is no world in which you would advise your son to turn down $8 million to go play quarterback. And his dad's statement just makes it even worse because his dad trying to make himself seem like a great dad who's concerned with his child's education and all this BS, right? His dad gave a hater comment. I need you guys to understand. Your family can be your biggest haters. Listen to his dad's comment. His dad said, "You're 19. You don't need $8 million. We came here to get our education and play football." Listen, first of all, let's just dissect that very first statement. What do you mean you're 19, you don't need $8 million? What does him being 19 have to do with his potential to earn income? This is the supremely talented 19-year-old whose talents were worth to some educational institution $8 million because they know with ticket sales and revenue, they could make that back double. If your son's talented enough to demand that type of income, who are you as the father to say you don't need that type of money at 19? You need that type of money at any age. Then to talk about education. Are you kidding me? Listen, you can go to college at 45 years old. I repeat, you can go to college when you're 45 years old. But when you're 45 years old, you're not going to have the opportunity to make $8 million. What a false equivalency. Talking about we came here to get an education. Let me explain something to you guys. First of all, 50% of college graduates, and I'm a college graduate myself, so understand, I'm not talking crap on college. I'm just trying to bring some perspective here. All right? I need you guys to understand, 50% of college graduates never work in their field. Ever. Like in life. They end up working a bunch of other jobs because they can never compete with all the other people who have degrees. Everybody has a degree now. Like literally a college degree in this area is like a high school diploma. So they can't outcompete the other people who have a degree in that same field, or they don't have the network, or they didn't have the internships to get themselves into position to really work in their field. But let's assume that they did. All right. So we're going to say you got a job in your field and let's say you made $180,000. Now I want you guys to realize the vast majority of Americans never make it to $185,000. So I'm talking on the high end. Realistically, you'll probably be at about 100 to 125. But let's say you got to $185,000, okay? Do you realize it would take you 44 years before you made $8 million? Let it breathe, run it back. It would take you 44 years before you made $8 million. And that's if you made 180. And that's the high end of what college students make with their education. All right, that's the high end of it. Your average college graduate, depending upon they actually get a job in their field, is going to be making close to $100,000 to $125,000, which at that point is going to take you about 60 years before you got $8 million. So if your son has the opportunity to make $8 million at 19 years old, he needs to take the opportunity. There is no excuse for turning down that money. That is life-changing money. All right, that is... If you manage this the right way, you won't have to work a day in your life. Because I've heard all the excuses. People talking about $8 million in this economy ain't that much money. He'll be broke in 10 years. Well, let me tell you something. If he's going to be broke in 10 years with $8 million, what the hell you think he's going to be with the 125 to 180 he's going to get from his college degree? Destitute? What are we talking about here? Even if he did go broke in 10 years, right? He still has his college degree. So he has that to fall back on. He could be a regular middle-class citizen. But he got to touch $8 million. All right? And if you got $8 million, and so you don't need it. Let's go with his dad. His dad says he doesn't need it. Okay, cool. So why don't you take 6 of the $8 million, put it in a high-yield savings account until you do? Why don't you take 4 of the $8 million and invest it? Get you some ETF. Get you some mutual funds. Like, there's no way to argue against this. It doesn't make any sense. This is stupid. This is bad advice to give your child. And the fact that you say you're 19, you don't need $8 million, it reeks of jealousy. Again, your family can be your biggest haters because your age doesn't dictate your earning potential. Your talent dictates your earning potential. Your education level dictates your earning potential. Your creativity dictates your earning potential, but not your age. Not your age. That doesn't make any sense. Then I seen some other guy arguing, well, he's making like $4 million at South Carolina, which I doubt. He's probably making closer to $1 million, maybe $2 million. I highly doubt he's making $4 million at South Carolina. But again, let's run with it. Let's go ahead and assume he is making $4 million at South Carolina. So they offered you double what you're making. In what world do you ever turn down a job that's offering you double of what you're making at your current job? If you're making $50,000 a year at your job and another job comes and says, I want you to do the same thing over here and I'll give you $100,000 for it, you would be an idiot to say no. If you're making $200,000 somewhere and another company says, I'll give you $400,000 to do the same thing over here, you would be an idiot to say no. I don't give a shit if he is making $4 million at South Carolina, which he's not. But even if he was, you still don't turn down 8. Now, if we were talking, you're making $4 million at South Carolina and another school offers you 5, yeah, you might turn that down because South Carolina might be a better situation. That's your team. You know you're going to start. You know, you're in the SEC, all this other stuff. But $8 million, I don't give a damn if it's Troy University offering me $8 million. Over in the Sun Belt Conference, I'm going for $8 million. Then I seen another person talking about Lanorris Sellers, on the draft board, they have him as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So if he leaves and goes to another school and the system doesn't work out the same and stuff, he's losing out on his NFL money. And in the NFL, if he's a top draft pick, right? If he's a top draft pick in the NFL, then he could make way more than $8 million. Now we're talking $20 to $40 million. So, he shouldn't leave. First of all, I don't know what mock draft y'all are looking at because I have not seen a single one that has Lanorris Sellers going as a first-round pick. And I don't believe that I will. What are y'all talking about? Lanorris Sellers is a great he's a good college quarterback, honestly. I wouldn't even call him great. Dude threw for like 2,587 something yards, had like 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. This is above average. This is a good quarterback. He ran for like 643 yards, like 4 or 5 yards a carry. This is a good quarterback. This isn't Jaden Daniels. I need you guys to understand that. This is not Jaden Daniels. This is not Cam Ward. He's not that guy. Nothing about him even suggests he's going to be that guy. I mean, granted, he's only 19, so maybe. Let me not say nothing about him, but I don't see it. I didn't watch him last year and think that he was going to be great. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was going to be great. And so I'm saying all that to say, for you guys to be banking on, he's a Heisman favorite. He's not winning a Heisman. He's not going to be a first-round pick quarterback, at least not next year, maybe the year after. All right, these are all hypotheticals. So you guys running around, he's going to make way more because he's going to get drafted high. He ain't getting drafted that high. All right, you got the opportunity to make $8 million right now. You take it. You're playing football. This is a violent game. All right, if he goes out there next year and he tears his ACL, his whole career could be over. He goes out there next year, and he tears a hernia, gets a Tommy John's, gets 3 concussions. Anything can happen. This is a violent sport. He can lose his speed. He can lose his arm strength. It's a violent sport. You have the opportunity in this violent sport to make $8 million right now. You make the $8 million. Thought we're talking about some damn education. You can get an education at any college. What are you talking about? Whatever school. I mean, we're talking about South Carolina here. I could see we're talking about a Stanford education, a Rice education, a Harvard education, a Cal Berkeley education, a Northwestern education. We're not talking a Virginia education. We're talking about South Carolina. Stop it. You can go anywhere and your degree is going to have as much power as a South Carolina degree. You can go anywhere. If they're offering them $8 million, that's most likely another SEC school. If you graduate from Tennessee, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, whatever you want to call it, so what you might call it, you're going to get the same job you would if you graduated from South Carolina. Cut it out. All right, unless you were going to Stanford and you were majoring in medicine, I don't want to hear nothing about how you can't change schools. You know, unless you're in Rice to be a lawyer, I don't want to hear anything about how you can't change schools because of education. You get education at any school. At the end of the day, his dad is one of two things. He's either a hater or he's just an idiot. He might just be an idiot. But you guys got to realize sometimes the statement that you're 19, what do you need $8 million for, is the statement that made me say his dad seems like a hater. I'm sorry, guys, but just to me, that's a weird statement. Why would anyone say that? Why would anyone say that? So, you know, at the end of the day, that situation is what it is. I mean, you know, he turned it down. Maybe his dad's lying. Maybe his dad's just trying to build up hype around his son. Who knows? Because, you know, I seen people in the comments talking about, oh, he's about to make, you know, a top round pick. I haven't seen anywhere where they have Lanorris Sellers listed as a top round pick. Anywhere. So maybe his dad was just trying to stir up hype. Maybe no one even offered him that much money. I don't know. But all I know is he made himself look like an idiot and a jackass, and sometimes you guys gotta drop your nuts and just say, yo, dad, fall back. I know what I'm doing. Either way, y'all, I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.